I'm Ryan Stevens with the Racing with Ryan podcast.
And I'm Tom Stout with Speedway Video, and this is Do a Burnout.
And our special guest here on this episode, our good buddy, Mr. Tyler Murphey, a.k.a. Dale Jr. Welcome to the show.
How we doing, guys?
Good.
Ready.
Spectator racer extraordinaire for the second time on the show.
I try. Spectator racing saved my life. It really did.
Did it really?
Yeah, I grew up on the other side of that fence. And I'm a poor kid from Illinois. I don't know nothing. I ain't got no money. And my buddy gave me a helmet and I came spectator racing. My sister at the time, she worked at a sign company. I said, hey, make me some 88s. And as soon as I heard you say Dale Jr. on the mic, I got a minute. First, I was like, if this sticks, I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to be so annoyed if this sticks. And that night, when I was coming back around the parking lot, I heard some kid say it, and it changed everything. It did.
That's
I
awesome.
instantly went home, put it on the nickname in the Facebook and all that jazz. And the other night at the autograph session, some kid called me Mr. Jr.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, I about weeped right there.
Oh, that is
That's
so
what it's all
cool,
about.
man. How
That's
are you
first.
with spicy foods?
I like them.
Like, you say you like them, does that mean you're okay with them, or like you look forward to this kind of stuff?
I do look forward to this stuff, and I will say I'm into a little bit of self-torture, so.
Okay.
But I'm willing
Alright.
to see what we got. I'm
Here,
scared
so-
of this green one. At
So-
first, I thought it was some baby food. I was like, is that minced peas? What do we got going
Man, you
on?
never know what might be in that one. So, this is the one that I made.
Yes,
This is the green flag sweet jalapeno sauce.
sweet jalapeno. That's actually good. There's some heat in there, but jalapeno is pretty mild if you're a spice guy. Anyways, if you notice, fresh jalapeno is usually hotter than the pickled, and that, man, that's perfect. Like I would eat that with. I want more. I would eat that with a spoon.
All right.
Yeah, fist bump that one. Jeez.
At the track, as we were
Yeah.
just talking about, you're known as Dale Jr. And
Right.
apparently it's something, I just, on a whim, made up to, get the crowd into the spectator races, and apparently it's stuck.
It's
and,
stuck.
that makes me happy right there. I almost forgot your actual name at one point. You touched on this a little bit, but what inspired you to put those decals on the truck?
Just always grew up in an Earnhardt family, and the truck was green and gray, so it kind of reminded me of Junior's old
The amp scheme.
The amp scheme.
Yeah.
The amp scheme. And so I was like, let's do the 88s, because I feel, now anybody can feel differently, but I feel like if you put a 3 on your car, I mean, I wouldn't put a 23 jersey on. I'm not Michael Jordan. Junior's a little more acceptable, like, because he's not.
More current,
Right.
Yeah.
So I threw the 88 on just because it fit. I was like, white numbers, green, reminded me of the amp car.
With those 88s, I'm like, oh my God, that's like the perfect color scheme, the perfect number. It's Dale Jr.
And-
so I just had to roll with it, and I'm glad I did.
And it worked out great. It turned out that whole first season I ran, we were only on 5 cylinders that whole year.
Okay. Well, I thought it was a 4-cylinder truck, so it was +1 to be it.
And when people see me at the gas station, it happens all the time. Somebody's like, I seen you at the track last night.
Oh,
You really
cool.
do drive this thing. And
That's
they see all
awesome.
my tools in it, and they're like, where you going? I'm like, I'm going to work. I got nothing else to do.
True spectator racer right there, man.
And like, a lot of these guys, they show up with real hot rods, but they're on trailers. They bring them from here, from there. I was driving down from Charlotte, North Carolina to do this and do some work. And I lowered it so the camera angle's bad. It chews up them front tires. I was going through set of front tires every month trying to get down here.
Oh my goodness,
Oh my
dude.
gosh.
That's some dedication.
The roads in South Carolina, I don't know how many times I hit a pothole and the headlights fell out.
We both Ryan and I were on
Yeah.
recent road trips to visit family, and we were commiserating with one another about how awful those South Carolina roads are.
Oh
We're
man.
just talking 95, let
Yeah,
alone the
yeah.
back roads there.
I did 95 to 26, and 26 is, it's like IEDs went off over there. It's bad. It's bad. You hear that, Carolina? Fix your stuff.
All right.
What do you? I was scared with this guy, bro. He had like a fancy case, and I'm nervous now.
Number 2 is the Pirate's Lantern Bajan pepper sauce.
Ooh, Pirates.
It's
I like Pirates.
mustard.
I like
I noticed that when you rolled up. Yeah, I'd never clocked that before.
Blackbeard and then the Jolly Roger under the skin.
Nice.
I like the mustard aspect.
You're the first one to say that. So.
That is true.
Oh yeah, that's a good flavor. Not as much spice as the green flag.
See, and it's funny, when we tested this all out, we're like, well, we got to start with the sweet jalapeno. I feel like as it sat in there, it's almost, the spices have almost come
Right.
out a little bit more. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but
Fermenting.
yeah.
That one, the mustard hits you first. and then the spice comes after.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? It's almost like a 1-2 punch.
If I was a fan of mustard, I would probably eat that over mustard on everything.
Right.
I'd put that on a hot dog.
Put it on a hot dog.
That'd be killer with pretzels.
Mm.
Try a soft pretzel on that
dips.
one.
If anybody has any special needs, if they come on the show and you want pretzels, that would work too.
There you go.
Special needs.
So, you've been spectator racing for years and years, and we haven't seen probably half of it, because we know you through New Smyrna.
Right.
But you've been racing at Franklin County, probably a bunch of other places that I don't know about.
Franklin County.
What would you single out as your favorite memory of being on the track as a spectator racer?
So, I think number one would have to be winning at Franklin County.
Okay.
Because that was hilarious. That turned into an endurance race.
Oh.
So we show up to Franklin County and the track gave us full reign. They looked at us and was like, "What do you want to do?" And we're like,
that's dangerous.
Huh.
"We want to drive race cars, sir." And it's a high bank 3/8 miles, so my truck was a little more. It does the half mile at New Smyrna kills it because when it goes into 3, it wants to dump into overdrive and it kills me. So that's why I got a little squirrely last week because it downshifted back into, and then I put new shocks on it so it didn't do what I thought it was gonna do.
Okay.
Excuses. But Franklin was wild. So they let us have practice runs. They let Charlie and the Crazy Blazer challenge race cars. He was running one-on-one with late models and stuff up there.
Wow.
And so they
Don't tell their insurance.
They
Yeah.
bring they don't have insurance. What are you talking
That's the
about?
key.
That's why they post on Rumble. So they're like they turn us loose for a 10-lap feature.
Oh my goodness.
5 laps, caution, invert the field, 5 laps.
Ooh, exciting.
So we do 5 laps. One guy bails, he's having trouble. So that leaves us down to 4 cars. We invert the field, I'm back up front. I mean, they pace car us. We do roll and start, the whole 9.
Wow.
The pace car is a convertible Sebring. Hilarious. The old lady smoking in the driver's seat.
Oh my gosh.
I swear the passenger was just holding a flashlight. That was, but they pull on the pit road and we take off. 4 laps into the 5 of the final shake 'em up there, Charlie bails off. He blew a radiator line. Evo guy bails off. His clutch was failing, and the kid in the Corvette just followed everybody off track.
Oh, okay.
The whole
All right.
crowd's doing the third base coach. Go,
Yeah.
go! The guy's holding white flag, and I gas it. Boom! I finished the race. They gave me $1,000 cash.
Oh yeah.
I got
All
the-
right.
I remember this now.
Right, and
I
I'm
remember
tearing up
this.
at first. I'm like, they let me win on purpose.
Oh yeah.
And it turns out everybody's just stuff fell apart.
Yeah,
So when
yeah.
it comes to
Mark Martin.
if it comes to endurance racing, I can win in that truck.
That's part of the game.
Slow and steady.
Slow and steady. I think close second would have to be the first night I came out to New Smyrna.
Oh cool.
And he coined the phrase, and the first time I dove into one, and that front wheel, I don't have power steering, by the way. So it's, I gotta do the Mark Martin
Yeah, you gotta tug
hacksaw
the wheel,
jump,
yeah.
right? So it's through the turn, and it was hard to see down the backstretch because there's tears in my eyes.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's amazing. I want to drive a race car so bad, but I don't have one, so I pretend I
So
do.
you make your truck into one.
Right.
You put on a damn show. Too.
So I think that truck fits the rules as long as I cage it and do whatever for the bombers.
Listen, I'm
we
not
might-
going to give you any ideas.
We
but
might have a long bed bomber coming up soon.
That'd be awesome. This is the Dirty Dick's tropical hot sauce.
I'm
It's
into it.
got kind of a fruity profile to it,
It's
but it's
pretty
got some
dark.
spice. It is dark. It's got quite a few different things in there.
It's got like a barbecue vibe to it.
Yes, yes.
And that kick's like, I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
I'm here. Let you think about it for a minute. Ooh. Breathing it out too. That's after fun. When you get a good hot one and you
Yeah. The exhale.
yeah, like a good shot of
Yeah.
whiskey, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's a good comparison.
Like barbecue chicken pizza with that drizzled around the circle.
Not a bad idea.
Watch out.
So we've had a couple of musicians on the show the
Uh-oh.
last couple of weeks, and well, we found another one here because I saw some pictures of you playing some drums on stage from back in the day. So how did you pick up drums to be your instrument of choice?
Oh man, so my grandfather had a landscape company, and this old lady, her husband passed away. She couldn't afford her bills, so she gave Grandpa, dead husband's drum set. And school offered snare drum and bells, a little xylophone.
Yep.
And once I
remember that
started
band.
working on the snare drum, I was like, all right, it's time to put this thing
Yeah.
together. And I was probably 9 or 10. I would say 11 is when I really started playing drums.
Nice.
I was in jazz band all through school. I took drum lessons from the drummer Sister Hazel when I lived in Gainesville for like a year. Toured Southeast in Puerto Rico with hardcore and metal bands throughout the years, all over Florida. And a lot of, and I had a like Americana folk rock band going on for a while. I'm all over the place with it. I just love music. My Spotify, you'd think I was a psychopath.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of that too, where it goes from like Rob Zombie to Gorillaz to Kesha to like Cole Porter.
I'm telling you, as I've gotten older, Tom remembers me as this long-haired metal kid. And all like, if it wasn't screaming and yelling at you for 3.5 minutes straight, it wasn't good enough.
Right.
But I feel like it's so important to have a range now, and I still love my metal. But I have a variety of things I like now. And honestly, I found that having a variety of things you like makes drums a lot more fun, too.
Oh,
So it's not just straight blast beats for 3 minutes, you know what I mean?
And you can pepper in different styles and this, that, and the other. And, like, even in metal, I mean, if you sit there and listen, there's a groove, there's a vibe. I mean, some have a hip-hop vibe, some are jazzy. You get to some of these slappy bass mathy guys with all that blast beats and goes.
See why I like it, Tom?
Well, you're also the biggest Tom Petty fan I know.
Yeah, I love Tom Petty. I love that. That's the Beatles. I love that.
Oh, yes.
You may not be the biggest fan of, but I mean...
No, the Beatles are great.
Who was it that...
The Beatles are
the
great.
Beatles
I just don't think they're worthy of the fandom that they have.
You're saying they don't hold up, maybe?
Yeah, like, the Beatles are awesome, but, like, to me, they're just another good band from back in the day. I don't think they're worthy of tattoo across my arm.
Yeah.
I gotta...
You don't need Abbey Road going down.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I have an original copy of the White Album. Download it.
White Album is their best. I do. That's the one.
Yeah.
There's definitely somebody I know that hates the Beatles, and I thought it was you, but apparently it's not. So now I wouldn't be ashamed to play the Beatles.
Well, also there's a metric. They say you're either a Stones guy or a Beatles guy.
And I'm a Stones guy, you know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I made the Exile on Main Street reference a couple episodes ago, and I was like, oh shoot, I don't know if anybody got it.
I like the Stones, but I never I've listened to the Beatles. The Stones, like when they come on, I'm like, okay, cool.
The other big one is, are you Billy Joel or Elton John?
Honestly, I've been tortured with Billy Joel, and I can't stand it. And honestly, like that eccentric piano music, it's really not my vibe. I have some music that I love that has piano in it, but when it's just a guy and his piano, like the dueling piano type music,
right?
Take it or leave it.
I grew up on Elton John, and I could take or leave Billy Joel. I certainly don't dislike him. But my girlfriend will play Billy Joel like crazy, and I start to go like, all right, we can move on from this, right? But Elton John, that takes me back to my childhood. So
Saturday night's all right for fighting. One of my careers when I was traveling and working, I was staying in the Panhandle, and I found some Holiday Inn that did Monday night blues jam. They would set up all their equipment, and you just sign up your name and what instrument you played. I sat there for about an hour and a half, and I was about to leave, and somebody finally said, Tyler, come on up, play the drums.
All right, okay.
And they're looking at me, and they're like, what's this kid gonna do? And I start chopping it up with them, and this guy's ripping saxophone solos.
Nice.
This dude's ripping bass. He's like, all right, you do it. And, all right, whatever. Start bumping
It's that
fills
jazz background, man.
Right, and it was just, it was one of those just hour-long improv vibes. Like, the song never stopped.
That's the most fun. Like, I've been in bands and stuff, and you sit down, and you try to be all serious and come up with music, and it's hard. I went and jammed with the LeBeau family one night. From the racetrack.
Yeah.
I was just sitting behind the drums. David LeBeau's playing guitar. His son's playing bass. Dylan is the other drummer there, so I think I might have stole his thunder a little bit. But we're just sitting back there jamming, and it was like the most fun I've ever had. I couldn't tell you what we were playing. I was just keeping a beat. They were jamming. That's fun, man.
Yeah, I spent nights just in the barn with my buddies in Illinois playing a washboard.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
I have slide whistles and train horns. Like, I play the spoons. I'm really good at ham bone. Like.
Okay.
I feel like that's,
Lost art.
It seems, it seems so simple.
Right.
But it was, and I wish I remembered the guy's name. It was a beat poet who used to tour with Jack Kerouac that I heard speak when I was in community college in Miami. And the story, I'm going to do a bad job telling this because I don't remember it super well, but hopefully the point comes across. It had something to do with Elvis, who I also like, although it would be a very Tom thing to be like, Elvis, like, he stole other people's music or something.
Some of the things that are Tom things will surprise you.
They were talking about playing the triangle.
Yeah.
And it was something about like looking down on the person who plays the triangle, but then like the person got up there and they're just playing the hell out of it, and it's like, oh damn, they put the most into something that's ostensibly simple.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, I'm not as good a storyteller as the beat poet that toured with Jack Kerouac, but...
But a lot of times, like even the triangle may, and think of it in the basis of like a whole orchestra, that triangle may only be hit once in this song, but it's a key moment in this song.
Gotta get it right.
If he misses it,
Yeah.
You'll
he
know
hits it too hard, too soft. Ruin the
This is
whole...
the part where I clap.
Right.
Oh.
That would be me in the band concert. I would be so nervous. I'd be like on bass. You'd just be playing the bass drum, and there was like a part where it's like boom, 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 along with like the tubas or something. I'm like, okay, I cannot mess that up because nobody can hear me all concert long. And I get to that part, and be like, I got it. Okay.
It's still, I played. I can't relate too much to the musicality that you guys bring, but I played trumpet in middle school for 2 years, and one of my most embarrassing moments was when I jumped a bar, and it was just like the trumpets were laying out for a little bit, and then we had to come in real big, like da 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 or whatever it was, and I jumped it by a whole bar, and I could just see the conductor up there just like.
Well, and then it's funny because then it makes a funny noise because you go to pull back.
Band concerts.
I'm glad I was never a horn player. I got sick watching every 5 minutes watching them drain them spit valves.
Yes,
yes.
No, I think, it was 6th grade. I wasn't thinking about it. We all just drained it right onto the carpet.
Yeah.
And I think back now and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, the band room is always like the mustiest.
Like, why does it smell like mouth?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd see like the woodwinds are sucking on their reeds all day.
Yes.
Oh, it's gotta be moist for vampire cleaner.
And yeah, the percussions. I don't know. Yeah, back in my day when I was in band, the percussion, we'd sit behind the percussion cabinet, and the instructor would forget about us.
You just got an Indian style back.
She'd be working with, okay, we're gonna work on the horn section, we're gonna work on the woodwind section, and then she'd be like, all together now. And we'd be hiding behind the percussion cabinet, just, being kids, screwing off. And she'd be like, percussion, would you care to join us? And we'd all, like little cockroaches, scramble to our instruments from behind the percussion cabinet. We'd sit on the floor and do other homework. We'd, doodle. We'd write things that we didn't like about the band teacher or whatever.
Yeah.
And, forget what we were doing. Crossed flags are out, man. You've made it halfway through. And what do you think so far?
I think we're killing it. The green is my favorite so far,
right.
As far as flavor to spice. Flavor all day, that mustard one.
Well, we do turn a corner here. We're going to welcome you to the Carnival. This is the Carnival Hot Sauce by Karma.
I'm glad I wore underwear for this.
We are too.
I needed a buffer. Oh, yeah, I got fancy. I shaved. I put on underbritches. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that one's spicier for sure. Mm-hmm. But the flavor hangs out, so it's not a torturous. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
No, I really like the flavor of this one.
Like, there's still purpose there. But it's hot. Oh, I breathed in a little bit. Woo!
We talked about the South Carolina roads.
Right.
You used to drive quite a ways to come down to New Smyrna to race. You must have had a stop or two. What was a favorite stop that you always made on that road trip?
I would purposely take the 2 lanes through South Carolina to avoid their interstate highway system. Mm-hmm. And I would always stop and just pull into the parking lot at Darlington. For no reason.
Oh.
Wouldn't even get out, wouldn't even turn the truck off, wouldn't even put it in park. Pull in, pull out.
Take in the history of that
Southern
great
Cookout
racetrack.
500, Lady in Black. I don't know, it's my favorite. It's one of my favorites that I've seen a race live at. And just every time I drive by it, I just have to relive that memory.
That's awesome.
I love that. I'm so glad. I was thinking like, a restaurant or like a strip club or something, but like that
It's an even better answer.
If you're going north on 75, and then just for New Smyrna, I have no reason to go down 415 to 44. I could just take I-4, but I have to drive by it. Have to. I can cut down Pioneer and go around it. Nope, I have to. I love that place. That's home.
This is the Melinda's brand Boot Jalokia, which is basically ghost pepper. It's ghost pepper sauce.
Ghost pepper is the one I haven't experienced ever in any form.
In my opinion, this is one of the best tasting ghost pepper sauces.
Yeah, this one delivers.
Oh, yeah. There's some sweetness in that one. It's almost like a hotter version of your green flag.
He's not wrong. I wouldn't have thought of that, but you're right, yeah.
And I feel like they get that sweetness from, I feel like they use a lot of salt to like bring out the flavors.
Right.
So whereas in the green sauce here is a lot of sugar to get it sweet.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a lot of ghost pepper, salt, vinegar, and garlic to get those combinations all there.
There's the nose run.
There it is. Over the years, what has been the best race that you've ever seen in person?
Best race I've seen in person. Man, I've been to too many Daytonas to even remember. I was there when we lost Earnhardt. I wouldn't say that's the best, but it's the one.
It was a good race until
out.
then. Yeah.
But I'll never forget. We were sitting on the backstretch when they still had backstretch seating.
Yeah.
And it was just like a tunnel through all the haulers, and I could just see where he hit. I had the scanner on. I could hear Richard. Dale. Oh, it was, oof.
It gives me goosebumps.
Damn, favorite. Oh, I went and watched Martinsville. The trucks run in the rain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was their first actual rain oval.
And you enjoyed that, huh?
Yeah, it was. That was and plus it rained, so there was no one there. We just had free reign of the whole grandstand.
Did you like it because it was just such a different experience?
Yeah. It was unconventional, I guess. It was a car accident you just couldn't look away from.
That race was a car accident type race.
But it was odd too because some parts of the track were starting to dry, so you could see them doing the dance of oh, do I take the wet weathers off now? And then wet weathers were falling apart. They were getting 10 laps out of them, and then they're all fishtailing.
And then they're moving up the track trying to find moisture.
Right, to cool them down. Yeah. It was hilarious.
Of all the races, if you would have put a list in front of me with all the races you've been to, that one would have been at the very bottom. Just because I remember, again, it was the first time they tried the wet weather thing in real condition.
Yeah.
So to actually hear you say that, and I've said it before, being at a race is always more enjoyable than watching on TV.
Right.
So I could see how you could get some enjoyment out of that and getting to see what you wanted to see. I mean, I went to Richmond this year.
Yeah.
And they started on the wet weather tires. And the first 40 laps, it was crazy watching them drive all over the place, watching the tires fall apart. And I stood by the guardrail. You can stand up along the fence because they have a guardrail back from the fence. And I was getting pelted by bits of rubber because the tires just fall apart because they're so soft.
Yeah. Okay, and then here's another one on the list. So we went up to Wilkesboro to see Junior race the Sunshot car.
Racing right now, actually.
So I get off of work. I was running underground utilities at the time. So I get off of work. I'm still dirty, covered in mud, and I book it from Greensboro all the way to North Wilkesboro. It was 2-hour drive. We were right on time for opening ceremonies because we're walking in, we're taking our pictures. Oh, we made it, this, that, and the other. And I can hear the national anthem going. So, Pat, take it off, and we're still kind of walking in. So they hit it. And the home of the brave. Cut right into From Who the Bell Tolls from Metallica.
Okay.
Yeah. Welcome to North Wilkesboro. It was such a show. You know what I mean? Right there. I grabbed the fence and started shaking it. I was like, this is racing.
The white flag is out.
Uh-oh.
This one comes to us from Puckerbutt Pepper Company, Smoking Ed himself, and it's called Reaper Squeezins. Yeah, this is about as hot sauces get.
Oh, man.
And as Tom put it to me when he introduced me to this, it's Reaper Pepper and more Reaper Pepper.
More Reaper Pepper.
Yeah. So there's some pepper in this one.
Is there pepper in this one?
A little bit.
Oh, man. This ain't the first time I done a burnout on Speedway video. When I won that race with Franklin County, geez, that is hot. I did a burnout around 3/4 of the entire Speedway. I almost didn't make it home because of the flat tire. Ooh. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to finish that one.
Hey, there we go. All right.
Mama raised me right.
Decent flavor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
So
almost cool, and then
it's hot. It is hot. But the flavor's there. It's not torturous like we discussed earlier. It actually does taste good.
Yeah.
Just
So I feel there's a whole side of spectator racing that we don't see from the camera side of things.
Right.
When you guys are in the pits hanging out with each other before your actual race. And I'm just going to ask for another favorite memory. Do you, and it can be from somewhere else, of course, but we're familiar with Justin Otterholt, Big Gravy, Casey Hawthorne, that cast of characters. Do you have a favorite memory from just hanging out with those guys in the pits?
No, you good?
No, we're tougher than that. My favorite, and if you look back through some of my stuff, and I think I stole some of your footage to make it, but when Casey blew, I did. Casey blew by me and hit that wall.
Yeah.
And still finished the race and won. I think that night there was some little junkie Saturn on the track, and he was puking brake fluid or something.
Oh, fun.
There it is. So when Casey went to slow down. It just went straight. Woo! Those are real tears to everybody. But I can hear Casey coming because that car is louder than Jesus.
Yeah.
It is a stock car, so I can hear him coming. And I'm kind of looking in my mirror and I just see, woo, just skated by me. And then I look in the mirror again and he finished the race. Okay. But that thing's a hot rod. I think that, and when I beat Sasha, shout out, in her little Sonic, because she should have smoked me. She was just scared of the corner. That's my theory. She should have held more speed in the corner and she should have smoked me. That car, my truck came off the showroom floor 40 years ago with about 180 horsepower. Right now, I'm pretty sure it's less than 100.
that Casey wreck and win was almost exactly 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
The only reason I know that is because there's a clip hitting Speedway video right around the time that this episode is coming up. So good timing on that. So was there something that went on in the pits afterward or beforehand?
No. Just usually just sitting around and bust each other's balls like,
yeah.
oh no, the Mustang's here. And just sitting there begging for a Camaro to show up. And then last week that white Camaro, I'm pretty sure he was from Australia. Bloke cut me off into one, and I'm like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
He's like, I was ready to race him, but
my God.
Yeah, he did
Oh my God, that's funny.
This ain't drag racing, it's short track racing. You gotta beat him to one. That old man in that Scion that challenged me a few weeks ago, that was last
great.
month. That was fun. That boy he's like, my wife told me to go blow it up. You want to race again? I was like, don't let us.
That's the story behind the grudge match?
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering. Well, hey, you're probably still feeling it.
Yeah.
But you made it.
We made her.
It was actually Justin Otterholt that coined the victory lap. We got one piece left. So what's become a tradition on the show, and you can blame him, is you can dab one more, and it's your choice. What was your favorite?
Yeah, which one did you like the most?
I gotta stick with homie over here.
All right, one more.
Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
This is telling me to keep making this.
Dude, do it. I'll buy a jar.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna write the senator about that one. That one goes against the Geneva Convention. That's chemical warfare right there. Before we go, are you how adverse into the history of the track are you? I remember when I was a child, there was a really bad late model wreck that took out the flag stand and the whole front fence.
I've seen the
I've
pictures
heard of
in the
this,
bar.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not wrong. That was New
did
Smyrna.
happen, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Car ended up in the first couple rows of the
I was
grandstands.
there. You're my grandmother. You're my mother. I was sitting there, and the flag stand is the camera. Like, we were 3 seats up from the flag stand. And I remember them coming out of the turn 4, 3 wide, and they all pushed each other up, and one late model come out the wall, and then he just burrito wrapped in the fence.
Oh.
And there was 2 flagmen, I believe, in the flag stand at the time. I had to been like 6, 7, 8 years old. And the flag stand just crumbled like a Pepsi can. They had to cut the guys out. They landed helicopters in the infield. But every time I go to New Smyrna, I think about that because I can still see where the section of fence is different.
Right. Maybe it was you. Somebody has pointed that out to me before.
Yeah.
Maybe it was you.
Yeah. So just a little bit before a flag stand, and then almost into one. It's a whole
Slightly
different fence line. Yeah.
Also, if you look at the wall on the front straightaway,
Yeah.
you'll notice it's almost tiered. I think that had something to do with it. The cars would climb up that wall.
Right,
And
and
there
just-
wasn't much of it. They would go up it
it.
and tangle into the fence. So they eventually put guardrail up, like a tier of guardrail, and then they eventually concreted it. So next time you go on the front straightaway, yes, it does have that weird jaggedy kick out off 4, and then it squeezes down into 1. I think that was just a redneck ingenuity there.
Right.
But if you go look at the actual wall, it's almost 2-tiered now because I think for that exact reason, to try to keep the cars contained in the racetrack.
Well, and I remember at the time there was a wire that went from the tower to the flag stand. I think was for light controls, and it fell in between me and my mother.
Oh my God!
So we go into full panic because that's live
Yeah.
electricity for all we're concerned.
Right.
You don't know what's gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So mom's in a panic. The cars are everywhere. I mean, it was a mess. And
Chaos.
That sticks in my mind. Like I said, every time I see that fence line, I just picture that moment. Because that was our spot. I was the kid that had his own flags under the flag man and stuff like that. That was me.
Well, it's funny. Rusty was in the flag stand this week. We had a few of our employees went to Rockville, and I'm like, "Are you having fun up there?" And he goes, "I see him come off 4," and I'm like, "Don't get me, don't get me." So he was worried about that all night. So it's funny, like that you bring that up. I mean, obviously it's a lot safer and a lot
Right.
sturdier now than it was back in the day, but
I almost
there's
applied
a
for
lot
the
of crazy
flagman
things.
job, but I was like, if I'm the flagman, I can't race.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just get you in the booth for a race sometime.
I'll hang out.
Give us some color. That'd
Yeah,
be fun.
yeah. I've been working on them. My favorite one now is when they come up the middle. Up the gut.
Up the
Up the
gut.
gut.
Up
The
the
21 machine. Up the gut.
Okay.
All right, we're getting this man in for a race. I like it. Go ahead. Do a burnout. Tell everybody where they can find you. Give a shout out. Say thanks. Whatever you got.
Man, you find me, Tyler Murphey. Just look for it. You Google it, you'll find it. There's an E in Murphy.
I was gonna say yes.
It's rare, so it makes it easy to find. But Facebook, Instagram, Tough Tyler, TUFFTYLER 86. I have my own carpentry business. You need some trim done, holler at your boy. Doors, baseboards, chair rails, crown molding. What else? Closets. We can do it all. These windows. You want me to fix these windowsills?
I was gonna say, that's kind of good to know because I eventually have some home improvement projects I want to get done.
Come on, baby. But yeah, no, I'm easy going. You see me in the streets, holler, honk, throw something at me. I'm all over the place. I really do drive that truck everywhere. It's the only vehicle I have.
Dale Jr. Jr.
I'm ready for a shower now. I've been to a couple of tables.
Don't go through this one.
I've been to a lot of tables.
On purpose?
What are you, Bills fan?
Yeah.
You a Bills fan?
No. Ew.